And welcome back, fam. Done Mother Amanda back again. Hey, good to be here. Good to hopefully have some of you join in or come in at a later time. Yeah, the trans medicalization of children. Once again, oh, one of the promises Donald Trump ran on for his reelection to president was the banning of the medical ban of medicalization of trans children, which means there's going to be a national ban on medically transitioning children from male to female or female to male under the age of 18. Uh, yeah, it's kind of seems to be an issue for some, and probably quite a lot on both sides of this issue. And yeah, I'm a big proponent of not medically butchering children. And people don't want to take, people who seem to be for medically transitioning children don't want to seem to pay attention to what the real deal is on the adverse consequences of medically transitioning children with hormone blockers, cross-sex hormones, surgeries, and they want to say that detransitioners are 1% or less, which I seriously doubt that. I have a feeling it's well over 5%. Um, Especially with the uptick in medically transitioning children, especially girls. I mean, girls going from girls to boys. And the detransition rate. And we all heard, hopefully, we've heard about Chloe Cole and her deciding to detransition. And she brought up a lot of good things. And her reasoning for detransitioning and not wanting this to happen to any more children. One thing that's not talked about because these trans activists refuse to let mental health therapy talk to children or even adults about it is previous prior trauma, things that may have gone into so a child or an adult may be medically transitioning from one to the other. They may have more of a role to play than gender dysphoria. They want to call it conversion therapy, and it's not conversion therapy. It's called caring about the person they're treating, finding out what the real reason is, and how to best go about helping the child and even an adult. It seems to gone by the way of being heartless, regardless of if it's a child or an adult. That it automatically has to be affirmed before someone. It seems like somebody has to be affirmed before they even get to therapy. At least that's the way that trans activists are acting. Um, it's it's really heartless, and it is. It's heartless. you don't know what's going on with somebody at a base level, then they really don't know if medically transitioning is the right thing to go for, right way to go for anyone, even an adult. Okay, I'm so glad that when I went to a therapist, it wasn't a gender affirming therapist. Somebody that helped me try to find and look at the root of what problems may be or may have affected my wanting to medically transition. Okay, and yeah, there were issues from my past that hadn't been taken care of previously. Could have been a big part as to why I may have wanted to transition. And I am so glad it was not a thing when I was a child. So glad, because it would have absolutely been the wrong thing at the time. Absolutely the wrong thing for so many reasons. Biggest one is mental health. Okay, number two, and probably the rest of them are just as important. Actually, they are just as important. Puberty blockers. The big one is Lupron. Okay, people want to say that it's reversible. If they actually look into it, that's a lie. It's not reversible. It stops puberty. Puberty is supposed to happen at a certain time. And go for in stages, in a certain stage, and boom, moves to another stage of puberty. Okay, and yeah, sometimes there's pre-pubescent puberty. Okay, yeah, sometimes there is. That happens. Okay, extremely short term, maybe puberty blockers, but I don't like that idea because there's still too much damage that can happen. People aren't really looking into what these puberty blockers do, and yeah, I get it. I know a lot of parents and stuff like that say, yeah, they have more than one opinion. They said the same thing. Well, to tell you the truth, not all doctors are going to say the same thing when it comes to those puberty blockers, especially Lupron. They are not going to say the same thing. Okay, Lupron is a drug that stops puberty, just stops it. It's not a pause, and if somebody gets off it without going on cross-sex hormones, maybe a stage of puberty will start to happen. It just depends, and I doubt that's going to happen. But whatever stage, part of the stage or stages that have been missed aren't going to come back. They will not come back. It's also been classified by the medical fraternity as chemical castration, which means it destroys the reproductive system without fail. Okay, and if you don't believe me, look into why that they use it for convicted sex offenders and pedophiles and child rapists. Why do they use it for them? If it doesn't chemically castrate somebody, chemically destroy the reproductive system, chemically destroys the desire for intimate relationships, destroys reproductive ability. In children, it has been known to cause brain swelling that can lead to some forms of permanent brain damage. Developmental learning, it can damage that. It's also been known, has led to temporary to permanent blindness because of the brain swelling on the optic nerve. and the damage that it can do to the optic nerve. Okay. And any intimate function as an adult, there's no feeling there. None. This is what every single person that's detransitioned has stated. And even those who have not detransitioned have stated that. No intimate feeling, no intimate, um, no intimate joy at the end of the intimacy. And a child's going to get robbed of that, on top of other medical issues that these things bring on. And that's just a couple, two or three of them, maybe. That's a few of them. There are so many more. The reproductive system fails to grow as it should, as it needs to. It stops the physical development that each and every individual, whether male or born female, must go through. When somebody's gone through that and makes those choices as adults and not on those puberty blockers, other things are able to happen that wouldn't happen. Okay? Now, if somebody has surgery before, bottom surgery before any kind of bottom surgery, whether it's a penile inversion or it's a hysterectomy, someone wants to have their own biological children after the surgeries that hasn't previously had children, would be able to save the egg or the semen to be able to have biological children afterwards if that's what they wish to do. And most children, if they want to ask before that, before they get to the age of adult, most are going to, probably odds are most are going to say no. And that's not fair. It's not fair to the child. Why is it not fair to the child? It's not fair to the child because so many things can change for that child, and then in the course of going through puberty and growing into adulthood. That may change. That no may turn into a yes. If they're put on puberty blockers without being able to save anything for reproduction later on, if their own biological children, is out the window. Gone, just gone. It won't come back again. Surgeries that have already happened, especially from female to male, double mastectomies. Guess what? Those breasts don't grow back. And if by chance they might, if the person detransitions, it gets put back on estrogen. I'm not going to swear to it. I don't know for sure. May grow back. But tell you what, I know that female will not be able to breastfeed any of her children if she's able to. Odds are it's going to be a no on that too, because it already is a no. 100% of the time. And I understand the heartache of wanting to and desire to help the child the best you can. I've got my own children. I understand that. Wanting to help ease the pain of your child. The best way to do that is to go through real mental health therapy. find ways of dealing with it if it's real gender dysphoria. Without being able to find out, you don't know. They can't safely say for sure whether it is or it is not. Most children, 80% or more, do not get put on puberty blockers, then cross-sex hormones do not medically transition. They don't. It's a historical fact here in America and in other countries. Now, the opposite, if they're put on hormone blockers and cross-sex hormones, it's exactly the opposite. Just about exactly the opposite. And a lot of times, if they go through with it, the times that they decide to detransition, and their life has been ruined. When it comes to having children or having any kind of intimate relationship with a significant other. And we know the intimacy that I'm talking about that they get no pleasure from. I'm not talking about the intimate personal connection. That'll still happen. It's the other part of the intimate connection between two people, two grown adults. The bedroom intimacy, for lack of a better phrase. How can that not, putting kids through that stuff, not being, putting them through the medical transition and not being able to do this stuff, how can it not be demonic? How can it not be evil? Because there's no guarantees. I am so glad that I was able to live the life I lived before I started my transition. My children are my biological children. I do not regret that. I didn't have to have, if anything, frozen or saved to be able to have that happen. I was able to build a relationship with a woman, have those intimate times, and be able to create children. Okay, no, it didn't last. You know what? I have nothing bad to say about the other person, and I'm not going to. So I don't want to. Because there was a big part of it that was real. It was love and it was caring. And it was affection. Because we were able to share ourselves with each other on multiple levels. When you put a child through this stuff, and it destroys their ability to have intimate relationships beyond person to one-on-one, it gets stolen from them. It removes that extra bond between two people. And why somebody would want to put a child through that is beyond me. It's heartbreaking. Medical field, it was threatened parents that you either want a live trans child or a dead child. You need to be charged with crime. Threaten a parent like that, terrify a parent like that, willfully and intentionally for a payday. So that's what it's about. It's about payday. Follow the money. Follow the money when it comes to Lupron and cross-sex hormones. Follow the money when the person has to be on on prescription medications for the rest of their lives. It's not going in your pocket. So yeah, they're going to tell you everything they can and lie to you every way they can to get your money. And there may be a few doctors out there that say, hey, this is probably not the right time, the right thing to do for this child. Thank you if you're that kind of a doctor. Or that's that kind of a therapist. Because it's not the right thing to do for a child. It's wrong. It's evil. It's demonic. And we as adults know that children don't have the ability to understand those decisions. Totally. Not even close. What their understanding is, okay, yeah, you say I won't be able to do this, I won't be able to do that. That's fine. I want to transition. I don't want to be the way I am. Okay, let's find out why you don't want to be the way you are. Let's find that out first. And let's find a way to make the child being okay with who they are until they become an adult and can actually make that adult decision for themselves. When they're in a better place to do it at, where their brain and mind has been able to develop with better understanding of themselves and what these medical treatments actually do and do not do. And therapists and medical doctors saying that we can change your sex. No, you can't change somebody's sex. All you can do is change the appearance of someone's sex. Science has not figured out how to change your DNA. For most of the world, you were born with an XX for female or an XY for male. That's the way it is. It's in your genes. It's a biological fact. And that will not change with medical transition, no matter what you do, no matter the medication, no matter the surgery. The medication changes what the body says, what the body is doing internally, not biologically. Just tells the body to do this instead of that. Changes some features on the facial features, some body features. If it's female to male, you have more muscle mass, less curvy. The face starts to become look more boxy. And what I mean by boxy, it looks more like a box. And when it comes to estrogen, it makes it look more feminine, softer. Body a little curvier. And when it comes to male to female, or female to male, and testosterone makes the voice deeper. Facial hair and body hair start to grow. From male to female, Hair growth slows down dramatically. It doesn't stop, but it slows it down dramatically. Estrogen will not change the voice. Testosterone will change a girl's voice to a masculine voice without any therapy and without any surgery. And what I mean by therapy, I mean vocal therapy. Me transitioning from male to female, I went through vocal feminization therapy before I had vocal feminization surgery. See how close we can get it to female's voice, if we can get it there at all without the surgery to raise the pitch. Worked a little bit, but not a whole lot. Maybe at some points it was androgynous. And maybe during my videos, maybe it sounds more masculine. And for some reason, it always has sounded a little different. But I also went after the vocals feminization surgery. I went through more vocal feminization therapy. Oh, boy, wow, yeah. Things that children shouldn't be put through. And medical transition is very high on the list. I'd say 2 or 3. Top one definitely is they shouldn't be sexually assaulted in any form. That's the top one. We're not talking about that right now. Oh, I need to grab a tissue. Sorry. But yeah, it's and this is suicide rate goes up for children after being put on puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones. This stuff is difficult for adults even. How difficult, if it's difficult for adults, what makes you think it's not going to be drastically worse for children? Parents, look around. Talk to other people. Get onto YouTube. Talk to people who transition. Talk to detransitioners. Find out what the real ups and downs are. And I really hope that Donald Trump was right. Is going to stop this, not stop this medical transition of children. Please find some real mental health therapy for your child. And if you need to get more than one or find somebody different, please do. You'll be able to find someone or some people that will be able to help your child. And antidepressants and anti-anxiety medication is definitely okay if the child needs it. Because gender questioning is difficult. It's not easy at any age. It's hard. Children deserve the right to grow up and go through what they need to go through normally is the way they were born. And have that help them figure out the direction or directions they really want to go in life. Maybe the child is really trans and as an adult will transition. There are some that aren't, that say they are, and they actually stay that way, but that's very extremely rare. Extremely rare. My hope is that when it comes to medical transition, that the medical providers get charged with a crime if they do to try to medically transition a child. And I hope, really, seriously, please, adults, parents, look, ask around, get onto YouTube. Find people who have transitioned and stayed that way as an adult. Find out from people who started as a child, detransitioned. Get the eye and find out from those who have started as a child and stayed that way. Find out the negatives. Odds are there's going to be more negatives than positives. Children deserve the best we can give them. And I know it's hard, difficult sometimes to find out what the best is to give them. Life is not always easy. But medically transitioning a child makes it harder for the child. Because of the inability to develop the way they should while going through puberty. Physically, mentally, and emotionally. And we all know there's difficulties that come with each one of them. That's normal. We all know this. Especially if we're adults. We know. You can't tell me you don't. Because you do. We know there's difficulty, discomfort going through puberty and growing up. Awkwardness and all that other stuff that comes with it. There's some good things that come with it too. Your child will still love you if they don't medically transition. It may not feel like it sometimes. It may not sound like it. I guarantee your child will still love you and care about you. Because they will come to realize you are trying to do the best thing for them at the time. There are things my parents did when I was a child at the time, I didn't like. But I found out that it was probably the best thing to do at the time. We all know parents aren't always right, and that's okay too. A medical transition of a child is always wrong. Always wrong. So please get as much information as you can from as many as you can. People that have transitioned as an adult, people who started as a child, people who have detransitioned. Get the information from as many different aspects and sources as you can. Informed decisions are the best information you can get is information from multiple different sides on this. But anyway, I'll let y'all know. Have a great rest of your day, no matter what part of the day you're in. And remember, you all have value. You're all important, and you all have worth. I told you they love you today. I love you. Thanks for stopping in. Bye for now.